well, one unit. So I had to start somewhere. I've decided to start here. Take this cover off. We believe the oil leaks in behind here somewhere. And I've got oil dripping out. Maybe tray. These tools are now soaked in oil because I did the bottom and it's all leaked over. Hell of a lot of oil coming out of here. And I don't think there's meant to be oil in this part. Maybe there is. I mean, that's coming out, that looks like water. Tell you what, I'm glad I put that basin down. Look at that, guys. I don't know why this isn't coming out though. I'll give it a wee chap. Right, so look at the volume of oil there that's just come out. It's quite a considerable amount. And have a look inside the casing. I don't know if you can see it, but it's all the gear in there. We'll have to be very careful, but it sits on a dowel here. So we'll have to make sure I pull this off straight so I don't damage anything. Right guys, I'm going to let you see what I can see. Here's what we've got. So first of all, what I need to do is, I need to somehow undo that wiring harness that's inside that side casing. And then you can see that the gasket that should be on here is quite damaged. So there's no wonder there was oil leaking out. So yeah, let's get the harness undone. I'm just going to do the simple tasks at the moment, get the casings all polished up and everything ready to go back together. And I think I'll get some advice on this from the old man whose joint project this is. I'm kind of learning as I go, and I'm hoping that doing the videos like these that you guys will maybe learn as well, or laugh along the way at my mistakes. But here we go anyway. So I've made a wee setup here, my stool from my van, a wee toolbox, just so that I could hold that side case in there, because I needed to pull out the big guns. I've got an impact driver here, and I used the impact driver on all these screws because the screws were so tight, and I didn't want to just try and get them out with a normal screwdriver in case I damaged them. So I've got them all loose anyway. I'll be able to take this out, get rid of the harness, and I'll be left with this side casing, which I'll be taking home to give a good clean and polish. So it's taken a wee bit more time than I thought. There's also, I think this is the starter, I'm not entirely sure, just in here, and there was a cover over this, and getting into the screws for that cover was a nightmare actually. There it is there, it's not in the best condition. So I'll see what we can get done with that cover, and if we need to get it recoated then I'm sure we will, but for now we'll just be cleaning everything up. And the gasket that sits underneath there is very bad condition. There's a bit broken off it. It's absolutely solid and misshapen. So yeah, we'll get new gaskets and that for all the visible parts. Right, so that's everything out. I've just laid it up there. And what I'm going to do, guys, is when I do this on all my projects, is I'll get the parts that I've taken out, and obviously I'm just going to place them all back in, because there's a lot of small parts here, as you can see, and just to stop you losing them, it doesn't do any harm just to put all the brackets and screws back in this side casing, just so we don't lose them. And I'll still be able to take this home, polish it all up, as long as they're not going to fall out. Keeps everything where it's meant to be. Right guys, so that's the engine covers off, both sides. And it gives me something to start on. As you can see, they're not in the best condition. And you want to be taking these off anyway, even if you don't want to polish them up. If you're doing one of these bikes, you want to be making sure you've got the easy gaskets done anyway, if you're not taking the head and doing engine work. Because remember, the gaskets can kind of dry up in age and they tear so easily. There was actually a couple of tears in this one, but when I took it off, you can see that we've got a section there So yeah, a wee gasket set and polish up the side casings is for next. And I think my dad's going to be doing the painting of the engine black. Obviously the carbs will come off, the ends will come off and whatnot. We'll try and make it look as tidy as we can. Right guys, so I'm going to try my best to do a bit of polishing. I'm going to start on the smallest piece here. And it is a wee bit beat up. I don't know if that shows up so well on camera there. There's a few gouges out it and stuff. And I think once I polish it, obviously the Suzuki will need painted in black again. But I thought this was a good piece to start with. It's nice and light, sort of easy to sand down and stuff. So I've got wet and dry sandpaper. I've got, you can see there on shot, is Brasso. I've also got some of this metal polish, Autosol product. My dad swears by this, but I've never really been a fan, but we'll give it a go, you know. And for sort of smoothing it out, I've got some really fine wire wool as well, so we can get a bit of the Autosol on this and just sort of smear it in. And I think the idea is, I'm not claiming to be a perfect professional at polishing pieces of motorbikes, but I mean I have done it in the past, and I think what you're trying to do is, if you imagine this under a microscope, and it would kind of look like a mountain range. What you're trying to do is you're trying to smooth out these peaks and take the dirt out of the metal, and that's how you get your reflective vision, or how it's meant to look. So yeah, it does take a bit of time. I will get black fingers. I could wear rubber gloves of course, but do you know what? I'm just going to get started with this, see how I get on, and I'll let you see. Right, so I am getting a little bit of a shine to this, but it's nowhere near as where it should be. So what I'm going to do is, I've looked out my bench grinder here, and I'm going to take one of the wheels off of one side, and I'm going to get a polishing mop on the bench grinder, and I think that'll just lend itself to, we can just put some of the Autosol onto the mop and just use that for the motion, and it'll make this job a hell of a lot easier, to be honest guys. So until I can get to a hardware store and actually get the mops for that, I'm just going to end this video here. And it's no got to the stage that I wanted it at. I wanted to be able to show you some shiny parts. I'm not getting there, and I think a machine polish is far easier than doing it by hand. So we'll end this one here, and we'll call this part 1. We'll come back with part 2 in probably a week's time, and hopefully we'll have some sort of shiny stuff to show you guys. But for now, thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. It is starting to clean up a wee bit. Please excuse the gouges. We are getting there. But once we start using the bench grinder with a polishing mop, it'll come up so much better.